Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the July 11th, 2017 Selectmen's meeting. Go through the agenda real quick. 7 o'clock, we'll have citizens input. 7:15, public hearing regarding Coldplay. 7:25, Selectmen's update. 7:35, town manager's update. 7:45, assistant town manager's update. And then we have a handful of action items. Bill, because you touched the flag, why don't you lead us in the pledge?
Flag is behind you.
Flag is over here.
So I moved it over.
I did it too, Mark, I did it too.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, being a little after 7 o'clock. Anybody here for citizens input? Seeing none, why don't we go right into the action items?
Okay, yep. Move to approve the Max Performance Annual Sharon Triathlon on 8/13/17 from 8 AM to 9:45 AM.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to approve, do them one at a time, the 6/13/17 Board of Selectmen minute.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to approve the 6/27/17 Board of Selectmen's minutes.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $300 to Veteran Services for the Iraq and Afghanistan War Memorial from Mirror Boutique LLC.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $100 to Veteran Services for the Iraq and Afghanistan War Memorial from Lynn and Zoo, Inc.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $35 to Veteran Services for the Iraq and Afghanistan War Memorial from Arthur and Mary Jewett.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $300 to the council, COA for history lectures in June from Friends of Foxborough Seniors.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $1,000 to Veteran Services for the Iraq and Afghanistan War Memorial from Field of Honor.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, takes care of the action items. Go right into Selectmen's update. Thursday, the 25th, is the dedication for the Sharon Lawson Pavilion. Be nice to get a good crowd out there and look at the good work the volunteers and the donations we're able to put together. I was there Saturday, Sunday, for a Legion game. It was pretty hot. Went over to the pavilion, had my lunch. It was pretty good.
Were the picnic tables there by
July.
now?
July
25th.
July
I have a sample of the invitation brochure that's going out, so if you want, I'll pass it around
Is it
for
3
you.
PM, is it?
It's 3 PM on the 25th.
On the 25th. Is that Thursday?
Light refreshment.
No,
It's a Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Chris, you had something?
Yeah, just wanted, I told Dave I wanted to touch base on the fundraising efforts for the memorial. After all those donations that we approved, I've got some totals, what we have in, what we need still, and some other information. So to date, we have $34,225 in. We need another $775 donation. So Barra publicized this to take advantage of the $10,000 grant from the Partners in Patriotism, so we need that $775. And then the total we need
You got it.
You got it?
You got it.
You're the man. That's why I'm in fundraising. So,
That was
There you
easy.
go.
we now have $45,000. We need another $15,000. Going once, going twice. So another $15,000 and we will be good to go. I spent a couple hours with Mike yesterday afternoon. The plan is to get it all ordered and have it constructed and dedicated on this coming Veterans Day. So David, thank you very much. Partners in Patriotism, thank you. And all of the other donors, thank you very much. We're almost there.
Do you take iPay?
I do have a mobile swiper for this. All right, that's all I got, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Bill?
Just a couple things. The vehicle committee met this morning. We've been meeting on a pretty regular basis. Actually, our summer intern did a great job of sort of identifying all the different vehicle markings that we have on vehicles throughout the town, and it's clear that we need to come up with a uniform system that would make it a little bit more appealing and consistent. So we came up, we're now gonna reach out to the company that does all the vehicle markings for us and actually have them come up with some uniform designs that will be used on all the town vehicles so that we can have some level of consistency. And but it was a good discussion. We still have some things that we wanna try to get into the policy as well that we haven't been able to address up until now. But one of the things that that was brought to our attention this morning is that when we dispose of a vehicle, that we make sure that all the markings are taken off of them, and that wasn't always clearly identified anywhere, so that's gonna be put into policy as well. But it's been a good committee, good group.
Great.
They have a lot of good input, and I thought the summer intern did a really nice job of presenting all the different
She did a great
pictures.
job.
Yeah, it was really good.
Must have been a fun project for her,
It
too.
was, it was.
It was, so,
So special thanks to Maureen Perry.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
our
did a really nice job
current
with that.
intern. And we will be sharing the results and the presentation with you, so you can sort of see the evolution of what the markings are like, what the comparisons are, and then this last meeting, we're compiling the recommendations that we made, and then we'll also have a policy recommendation for you. So
And we'll
I'd
show you
say
what
at
our
an
overall
upcoming meeting,
recommendations are.
we'll present that.
Be great. So that was good progress in that area. The summer met again yesterday, our monthly meeting. We're down to monthly meetings at this point now because we're just waiting on the grant funds. And unfortunately, we were supposed to hear about the grant in June, but there's been more people applying than they thought originally, so now they have to kind of figure out a way in which they're gonna divvy up the funds. So we still rank really high in the process, so I think it's just a matter of how they're gonna figure it out. But we don't anticipate an answer on that now until September. They don't do much during the summer months either, so we're hoping that we'll get that resolved by September. But in the meantime, it sort of puts everything on hold. We're doing the recruitment process right now with the executive director. We had 40 candidates, now they're down to 7 on 7. We had 7 telephone interviews, and now they're down to 4 that are gonna go through the actual assessment center. The assessment center was gonna happen in July, now it looks like it's gonna happen sometime in August.
Actually, we're going to do
in
panel
Sep-
interviews in
That's right, I'm sorry, in
August,
panel
and then
interviews and
an
then
assessment
assessment center
center
in
in
September,
September.
I stand corrected. So that process has been pushed ahead about 30 days because of the delay in the grant process. We can't really commit to a hiring process until we have the commitment for the grants. So, but the committee still is very, very much together. There's the committees are all working together. We're just trying to figure out, and we have contingency plans in place so that in the event that if we don't get the grant all at once, which we fully anticipate, I don't think you'll get the full grant amount in the first year. You may get it over a couple of years. That we'll deal with that, and so we're ready to deal with that if we have to. The new building transition is working very, very well. We're still working on it. So we got some. It's like anything else when you move into a new building or a new house. You sit back and
see how it all fits together at first, and then you just make adjustments accordingly. And so we're about a week away from the adjustment phase. We're gonna do a few things and slot in a few things and make a few changes along the way. We still need to get to a process, and I need to identify a process and how we can actually decorate the town hall with pictures, and what's the best way to do that. And I still haven't really thought that about. I certainly welcome ideas, if anybody has any, about how the best way to decorate that with certain types of pictures and memorabilia of the town. We want to try and do that in a very tasteful way. So, but the building is terrific. We had a meeting this morning, actually dealing with a new craft project up at the Patriot Place. And we had probably, 15, 20 people there, and we were able to easily accommodate them in the new meeting room today, so without any trouble at all. So that was great to be able to do that for the first time since I've been here, to see that happen. And then, and we're getting a lot of great comments from people too that have been through the building, finding out how great it is. And the Boston Globe is gonna actually run a story on it, I think this week. I sent them a picture of the new building that they're gonna run in a follow-up story. So looking forward to seeing that. It said the letter of support, looks like the Orpheum Theater is looking towards finalizing an agreement by next month. And there's been a new group that's been formed. They applied for a grant to help with the fit-up of the building and some of the improvements to the building through the state. So I wrote a letter of support for that to Secretary Ash, along with Representative Barrows and our town planner, Paige Duncan, in support of that effort, because obviously that's a great investment for the downtown, and in full support of that effort. Just an update on the sewer piece, that is actually out to bid right now. So we'll be waiting to see what comes back on that, but we should be hearing back later this month on that piece of it. Contemplating a discussion, the Chairman Feldman and I discussed this earlier this week, contemplating a discussion perhaps in August maybe with the Board of Assessors, to talk a little bit about the tax process and how the tax rate gets set. So we don't just have that one conversation in November, so that sort of explain it to folks so they understand it. And that we have just a little bit more fuller discussion about that process, so we're not rushed into that when it comes to setting the tax rate in November. So I think that's a good educational piece that, and again, another follows through on the summit discussions. Let me see. We're working on the Tough Mudder process. Some of you may be. I know Jim is familiar with this because you actually ran one recently up in Maine, New Hampshire rather. Was it Vermont? Was it Vermont? Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of those northern states. Tough Mudder is a really great program that is now a really popular thing going around the country these days, and where it's an obstacle course that is run throughout the community. It's about a 10 or 11 mile course, every community that's had it has had a tremendous amount of success. It's a great economic development concept for the community. At the same time, it just brings, it's like a great tourism thing too for the town as well. So we think it can attract anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 runners for this. So it'll be like our own mini marathon, so to speak, in the town, and it's a great program. So part of that though includes working with the Conservation Commission, the Recreation Department. I'm working with Conservation on that. I know they met last night. I still have some questions which we're going to try and work through. I'm going to meet with them next at the 24th, and then I'm going to bring the license piece to you and ask the board to authorize me to sign that license. But I want you to hear the presentation about it first before I do that. So, but we're looking to possibly do one in June. June of next year, so it'll be, we're starting the process now, working with the craft organization on that as well, because they're looking to use a portion of Gillette Stadium, or the property around Gillette Stadium to make that happen. So this is another cooperative effort in that regard. So it's a pretty exciting thing, and hopefully we'll make it happen. There's a few questions that we still got to work through. I think there was a meeting last night with still a few questions, but we're going to try and work through that. All right, so that's all I had.
Okay. Mary Beth, we'll get back to you.
Sure.
It's, Bill took all your time.
Sorry.
7:16.
Took a lot of my stuff, too.
The public hearing regarding Coldplay.
The Board of Selectmen, acting as the local licensing authority pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 181, and Section 183A, and Chapter 136, Section 4, Code of the Town of Foxborough, Chapter 229, and also stadium rules and regulations, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, July 11th, 2017, beginning at 7:15 PM in the Foxborough High School Media Center, 120 South Street, to review the application submitted by NPS LLC for Coldplay, A Head Full of Dreams Tour. This event is proposed for Gillette Stadium. Application for this event is on file at the Office of Selectmen. All interested parties are welcome to attend.
Welcome.
Thank you. Jesse Enos with Gillette Stadium.
Randy Briggs, Stadium Advisory Committee.
So here before you this evening to request the license for Coldplay, A Head Full of Dreams tour on Friday, August 4th at the stadium. This is the same exact tour that we had at the stadium on July 30th of 2016. It's just an extension of that tour. So all of the elements that we saw in July of last year will be forthcoming this year as well. We are requesting a gate opening time of 5:30 and the ticketed event time is 7. It's a Live Nation production, same as last year. And the first 2 shows also that we've had this year at the stadium, and we have Al Dotley on site as a consultant to help with all of the production elements. We anticipate between 50 and 54,000 people in the building. Ticket prices range from $29.50 to $225. There's actually no GA space at all with this show, so every seat in the stadium is reserved, which again, same as last year. Interesting because the first 2 shows that we've had this year at the stadium have been entirely GA floors, so this is in the opposite direction. This show, as we saw last year, has really heavy production elements. Every patron gets a light-up LED bracelet that's controlled through a mix in the stadium so that the bracelet lights up in time and in sync with the music. They tie into all of our digital boards more so than any other act, so it's a very immersive experience. There's confetti, there are balloons. It's a very cool experience, and that lends itself to a really diverse crowd. We had a pretty surprising international demographic that showed up last year, which was something that we hadn't necessarily anticipated. A lot of families and a lot of couples on like a date night. So it's really varied. The unifying thread is that no behavioral issues. It's a very mellow crowd. It's pretty mellow music. So it was a great event last year. We're looking forward to it again this year. And did I miss anything, Randy?
No, I think you covered it. I personally had the opportunity to attend the Coldplay concert last year, and it was well run, and like you said, it was a very festive and family atmosphere, so we expect it to run as smoothly as it did last year.
Questions from the board?
Nope.
Good.
So, Jim, I'd just like to say that I think the events so far have been terrific so far this year. We've had very few problems.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
been
really-
a nice summer so
It's
far.
been a good year so far, so let's keep it that way. I don't want to jinx it, believe me.
Okay, being it is a public hearing, anybody in the audience? Anybody? Anybody at all? Carl? Okay. Have a motion.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
Wait,
you.
wait,
Oh, just
wait,
kidding.
wait.
Actually,
I got
vote on
very
it now.
excited. I know, that was my fault.
This is my big time now.
Is this
I
your
know.
first,
This
is
is
this
your
your
time to
first time?
shine.
Is this your first
I
time?
know. I should know better. I really should.
Just taking a lead, Jess.
Move to approve the application submitted by NPS LLC for Coldplay, A Head Full of Dreams Tour.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor?
Thank you.
Thanks,
All
Randy.
right. Mary Beth?
Yes.
You're up.
Just a couple of quick things. The good news is Town Hall is beautiful. People are very happy and grateful. We're dealing on, like Bill said, on some operational things, organizing what goes where and all of that. But it's been a good experience. The other good news is that people really want to work here. We have transitioned to a new applicant tracking system that we debuted when we did the SEMREC executive director position, and it's really has great ease of use. The department heads are really actively able to screen the resumes and all of that, but to that end, we had 354 people apply for an office coordinator position in our assessors department. And, you know, we're talking a union position that is still at FY16 rates is what we advertised it at. So people really want to work for us, which is great. So we're, apologies to anyone who applied in the community that we are still slogging through those resumes. We're probably going to start notifying people for a phone interview, narrowing that down. We had 156 people apply for our community services caseworker. That was a retirement in the Council on Aging Human Services Department, and as we do every time a position opens up, we look at, talk to the department head, what are your needs? So within the same, you know, a similar same pay range, we sort of regrouped and looked for more of a social worker person to help our casework. They'll still do transportation and outreach, but they'll also be doing some social work stuff because they bond with the community and do that.
I think it's important to point out there that the recruiting process has changed dramatically in terms, so that we're reaching a much bigger crowd now than we've ever had, because we're not just narrow focused on a few areas of where we're advertising. We're reaching out to a broader area based upon some of the new recruitment techniques that Mary Beth has employed. So you're reaching a much bigger group of candidates now. There's different technological advances now that are being made through this, so you're not just advertising, say, in the Beacon or, you know, or in the local newspaper. It's actually out there in different venues now, and word gets out. I mean, yeah, we get 350 applicants, but you may find out of that group, unfortunately, a lot of those people aren't qualified. All right, so we still have to go through the process, and you narrow that focus down to probably the group of 10 or 15 that are probably your most qualified candidates.
We do track where they heard, you know,
Right.
us, and we'll continue to, like, we'll cut off sources where we might be getting too much quantity, not enough quality. So we're able to tweak that, which is really great. The good example is when we posted for the SEMREC, the executive director, we got 40 applicants. The local community that also did that originally went out and got only 5 applicants. And then the second time around, they got 20. So we doubled what they got. The quality was incredible. And the 4 communities together, everybody gave great feedback on, you know, being able to all rate resumes while we're all sitting at our own desks or in our own living rooms. And so we did get really good quality candidates. And to Bill's earlier comment, I reached out to all the 4 people that we were going to move forward in that executive director search, just to let them know what the timeline was, and everybody was fine with that. So we currently have, just so people know, if anyone's looking for something to do, we currently have an ongoing recruitment for reserve police officers. That's on our town website. A water services tech, that position's gonna close tomorrow, and we had a retirement in Public Works. Our equipment maintenance supervisor retired, Glenn Strong. We wish him all the best. He was a phenomenal
Yeah,
employee.
that's great. Very important.
He's gonna be sorely missed, and so that position closes on Friday as well. So we have a couple that are in the works that have already closed, that we're in the process of interviews and all of that. So it's been a very busy season for us with regard to that. And one other thing, I just wanted to thank the board and Bill for letting me continue on in the Mass Municipal Personnel Association. I just recently got elected to chairman again for my 3rd year, and we now have
Glutton for punishment.
291 communities, member communities, which is, it's a really great organization, and I'm allowed to, you know, do a lot of, connect with a lot of great people on that. So that's all that I have. And just a reminder again about the Sharon Wasson Pavilion dedication on July 25th at 3 o'clock.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. And there will be light refreshments, I'm told.
In all seriousness, congratulations, Mary Beth. It's a great honor to serve as the chairman of that organization. That organization started out with about 40 people when I first started. Now there's 291 members. It's pretty amazing.
Bill's a
That's-
past president.
So between the two of us, we have 5 years of
Yeah.
presidency on that group. So, but it's interesting, it was a much smaller group. It was only, I'd say it was probably maybe about 100 at the time when I did it. Now it's almost 3 times that size. So it's really good to see how the world has become much more professional oriented in terms of, especially in HR. So that's a really good sign.
All right. Anybody, anything else? No? Doc? Para?
Yes.
Great. Let's switch over the tape. Barry, do you now Foxborough reporter? So, did you just donate $775 on just like a whim?
Well, yes.
We didn't even set that up ahead of time.
I know. I was just confirming that. It's like, dang. Very nice. So yeah, I guess the other thing is that, so you just became president of the Mass Municipal Association?
This is my
Mary?
third year.
The MMPA,
MMPA.
Mass Municipal Personnel Association.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's a group right under the umbrella of the MMA,
Mhm.
and I think it's now in its 61st year.
Great.
So it's changed from a very, personnel, transactional kind of type people. Now, I would say 50% of the people are like me, assistant town managers, we have town managers, HR directors, the great group.
Terrific. And in terms of the open positions, you said that the one's going to be closing on Friday and the other's going to be closing tomorrow?
The
Or both of them are
Public
closing on
Works
Friday?
Supervisor for equipment maintenance will be closing on Friday, and the Water Tech position will be closing on Friday.
So both are closing on Friday
Both will be
then?
closing on Friday. The
Excellent.
others I mentioned, Reserve Officer is ongoing.
And Reserve
So if
Officer is, of course,
people are interested in that, we have all the criterias on our website. We've been in contact with people who already applied to tell them if they're missing information and all of that.
Water
Terrific.
tech positions, we probably won't get a big group on that.
No, we have
Because it's a very specific position and requires a certain number of licenses, and they're really hard to come by, really hard to come
I
by.
think Public Works Supervisor will be tough as well. They need to
Yeah.
really be up on equipment
Right.
maintenance of some pretty
Right.
sophisticated machines,
Right.
police and fire vehicles, as well as Public Works and school buses.
Terrific.
Those are the
Yeah.
challenges.
Excellent. That all sounds good. All right. Well, that's about everything. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks, Barry.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Night, everyone.
Was that beat last meeting?